Hello everyone. We are the group 7 and our topic is about the advanced ratio analysis and interpretation. And I am Jobert P. Dumayon. I am the first reporter to discuss. My topic is about the ratio interpretation and trend analysis. So, what is the ratio interpretation? So, ratio interpretation refers to the process of the analyzing and interpreting a ratio, which is a mathematical relationship between two numbers. So, ratio interpretations also express how much of one thing exists in relation to another. So, that is kano ng ratio interpretation kanang mag-exist siya relation sa isa ngadto sa isa ka kuan silbi i-combine niya. So that is the ratio interpretation. So let's for example. So I have a 5 type of ratio. So in our PPT. So first they have a profitability ratio. They have a liquidity ratio, and the third is the efficiency ratio, and the leverage ratio, and the last one is the market ratio. This all ratio is kanin siya kaning humana ni siya o kanang discuss sa group 6 ug unsaon siya pagkuha, unsaon siya pag-solve. So ang atong buhaton karon is we are going to interpret ug unsa kining lima ka ratio nga kung yata nga example ug unsa din siya ug unsa din siya makatabang sa isa ka company. So let's start for the profitability ratio. So unsa din yung profitability ratio? So kining profitability ratio, this ratio shows how much profit a company makes for every piso of revenue. So kining profitability ratio nagpakita ni siya og kuan unsa kadako ang profit sa isa company for every pesos of revenue. So let for example and a formula of profit margin equals net income divided by revenue times 100. So for example, if a company has a profit margin of 15%, it means the company makes 0.15 pesos of profit for every pesos of revenue. So a higher percentage indicates better profitability. So kini yung profitability ratio kuan siya nagpakita or makita na to diri kung unsa ka kusog ang negosyo sa pag-generate og profit gikan sa iyang kita o kapital nga gi-invest sa isa ka investors. So let's for example sa gross profit margin. So kining gross profit margin nagpakita kung unsay nahabilin nga kita human bayaran ang gasto sa product or sa mga produkto. Ikaduha is liquidity ratio. So unsa na liquidity ratio? So in the interpretation, liquidity ratio, this ratio measures a company's ability to pay short-term obligation with its short-term assets. So kining liquidity ratio daw kay is kuan siya, nag-measure siya sa company's ability nga makabayad ra og mga short-term obligations. So let for example, the formula of current ratio is equal current asset divided by current liabilities. So for example, if a current ratio is 2/1, it means that for every pesos of liabilities, the company has 2 in assets available to cover it. So nagpasabot nga kining liquidity ratio nga matawag na to ang isa company nga liquidity if ang iyang asset is mas dako siya kaysa sa iyang liabilities. Like for the example, if ang current ratio is 2/1, so nagpasabot siya nga ang every 1 pesos of liabilities sa company is naa siya 2 pesos nga assets para available para to cover it. So every 1 pesos of liabilities sa company na 2 pesos nga available para mo cover it, para mabayaran. So napasabot nga ang liquidity ratio matawag na to siya liquid ang isang company if mas dako ang iyang current asset to the liabilities. And the third one is the efficiency ratio. So in the formula of the inventory turnover equals cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. So for example, if a company has an inventory turnover ratio of 8, it means a company sells under replacements its inventory 8 times during the year. So a low ratio may indicate overstocking or weak sales. So kining kuan efficiency ratio di ay ilang makita diri kung unsa ka-epektibo ang usa ka negosyo sa paggamit sa iyang mga asset aron makabot ang ginansya sa kumpanya. So let's for example sa inventory turnover ratio. So makita na to diri kung kapila na hurot ang stock sa usa ka bulan or sulod sa isa ka tuig. So in the interpretation, ang efficiency ratio, so this ratio measures how often a company sells and replaces its inventory over a period. So makita na to diri sa efficiency ratio nga kung kapila mag-replacement ang isa ka company o product sulod sa isa ka bulan or tuig, o kusog ba ang halin. So bot pasabot nga para sa example nga turnover ratio of 8, so sulod sa isa ka bulan, so butatog sulod sa isa ka bulan, so nagpasabot siya sa sulod sa isa ka bulan, ang ilang product is nahalin og kawalo ug naka-replace pod sila og kawalo. So nagpasabot siya nga kusog ang ilang halin, dito makita og kusog ang ilang halin kay ang ilang stock is kawalo pod na ilisan. So that is the efficiency ratio. So in the fourth one is the leverage ratio. So in the formula of debt to equity is equal total debt divided by shareholders equity. So let for example, if a debt to equity ratio is 1.5, it means the company has 1.50 pesos in debt for every pesos of equity. So a lower ratio indicates less financial risk. So kining di ay leverage ratio nagpasabot kining leverage ratio, makita nato diri kung pila ka utang ang gigamit or pilay na utang sa usa ka negosyo kumpara sa kaugalingon nga kapital o asset sa isa ka kumpanya. So direto makita direto makita og pila day na utang sa isa ka kumpanya or sa negosyo nga kaysa sa ilahang kapital nga gibutang sa pag-invest nila. So in the interpretation kining leverage ratio kay para mas masabtan nato, kining leverage ratio this ratio is show the proportion of the debt used to the finance and the company's assets relative to the shareholders equity. And the last ratio I discuss is the market ratio. So in the interpretation, kining market ratio is the price earning ratio, measures the market valuation of the company earnings. So let for example, they have a formula of price to earning ratio is equal market price per share divided by earning per share. So in the example, if a companies have a price earning ratio is 20, so it means that investors are willing to pay 20 pesos for every 1 pesos of the company's earnings. So a high price earning ratios could indicate investors optimizing about future growth. So kini di ay market ratio diri nato makita kung unsa na ang kahimtang sa usa ka kumpanya base sa pananaw sa mga mamuhunan or mga investors parehaan sa mga investors like sa merkado kanang mga maligyaay. So that is the market ratio.
Hi, I am Anirudh Bangkalan and I will be discussing the trend analysis. So what is trend analysis? So trend analysis involves comparing financial ratios over multiple periods to identify patterns and trends. So trend analysis is based on the idea that past patterns can provide insights into future behavior, and by examining historical data such as the upward, the downward, or the sideways movements. So these trends can then be used to make informed decisions about the future strategies, future investments, and operations. So there are three types of trend analysis. So the first one is horizontal analysis or the time series. So horizontal analysis compares financial data across multiple periods to identify growth patterns, fluctuations, or anomalies. So this is a financial technique used to compare a company's financial data across multiple periods. So it reveals the trends and patterns of a company's performance over time. So the calculation of the horizontal analysis is trend percentage equals to current year value minus base year value over base year value times 100. So let's say, for example, a company's revenue was $100,000 in 2023. So that is a base period, and in 2024 is $120,000. Then the dollar change, so ang dollar change is to subtract the $100,000 or $120,000. So $120,000 minus $100,000 is equal to $20,000. So it is increased. So nasa yun siya. So if you convert it into percentage change, so ang ginan siya og ang base period imo siyang i-divide. So $20,000 divided by $100,000 is equal to 0.2. So ang 0.2 i-multiply nimo, so equivalent into 20%. So nasa 20% increase sa company. So inanaw nimo pag calculate ang horizontal analysis. So the second one is vertical analysis or the common size. It facilitates comparison between companies of different sizes or across periods. So example, if a company has a total assets of $1 million and liabilities of $400,000, liabilities as percentage of total assets are $400,000 divided by $1 million is equal to 0.4. So i-multiply nimo sa 100 equals to 40%. So this means 40% of the company's assets are financed by liabilities. So inanaw po nimo pag-calculate ang vertical analysis. So the last one is benchmarking. So benchmarking compares companies' ratios with industry average or key competitors to assess relative performance. So ang benchmarking is involved to measuring a key aspects of operations, processes, and products to identify areas for improvement and gain competitive advantage. So that's all. Thank you.
Greetings, I am Amy Grace Salado, and I will be discussing about the limitations and potential biases of a ratio analysis. So first, let's talk about the limitations of ratio analysis. The reliance on historical data, financial statement manipulation, ignoring qualitative factors, failure to account for external factors, and inflation and changes in accounting policies. Reliance on historical data. This ratio analysis uses past financial information which may not accurately reflect current or future performance. Like for example, a company's profitability ratio was high last year, but due to a recent market downturn and declining sales, the current year's performance is significantly not the same. Relying solely on past ratios would mislead stakeholders about the company's current financial health. Next is the potential for financial statement manipulation. So companies can manipulate financial statement to present more favorable picture which can distort ratio analysis result. In other words, a company delays paying its suppliers until after the financial year end to improve its current ratio, making its liquidity appear stronger than it is. Such window dressing can mislead investors about the company's true financial position. So, window dressing refers to the practice of manipulating financial statements to make a company's financial position appear more favorable than it actually is. This is often done just before the end of a reporting period to influence stakeholders' perceptions. The third one is ignoring qualitative factors. Ratio analysis focuses on quantitative data and may neglect crucial qualitative factors like management quality, competitive landscape, and technological advancements. A company has strong financial ratios, but if it operates in a declining industry or has a weak management team, these qualitative factors can significantly impact its future performances, which ratio analysis might overlook. Next is failure to account for external factors. Ratio analysis does not consider external factors like economic conditions, market trends, and regulatory changes. So like for an example, during an economic recession, a company's sales decline, affecting its profitability ratios. Ratio analysis might not fully capture the impact of such external economic conditions on the company's performance. Lastly, inflation and changes in accounting policies. Inflation can distort historical costs, and changes in accounting policies can make comparisons across periods or different companies difficult. So, a company adopts a new inventory valuation method, such as switching from FIFO or first in, first out to LIFO or last in or first out. It is a method which can affect its cost of goods sold and profitability or with other companies difficult. So after all the limitations of ratio analysis, there are also potential biases that can affect the analysis of a ratio. So first, there is selection bias. Choosing only favorable ratios or time periods can misinterpret a company's true financial health. So this bias, analysts may cherry-pick data that supports their conclusion, leading to biased interpretations. Next is confirmation bias. So this bias, analysts may interpret ratios in a way that supports their pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. Analysts might focus on data that supports their preconceived notions and ignore information that contradicts them. Another is survivorship bias, focusing only in companies that have survived in an industry, can incline the interpretation of what constitutes a healthy ratio. This bias arises when only the surviving entities are considered, overlooking those that have failed. Management bias. Financial statements may reflect managerial bias, whether intentional or unintentional. Management may present financial data in a way that highlights the company's strengths and downplays weaknesses. Lastly, the analyst bias. Personal interest, client pressures, or employer incentives can influence how ratios are interpreted or presented. Analysts may have personal biases or conflicts of interest that influence their interpretation of financial data. An analyst with ties to a company might provide overly optimistic assessments, affecting the reliability of their reports. In conclusion, while ratio analysis is a valuable tool for assessing a company's financial health, it has limitations and is susceptible to various biases. Analysts should use ratio analysis as part of broader evaluation process, incorporating both quantitative and qualitative factors to make informed decisions.
Hi, my name is Desime Haugen. I'll be the last reporter of Group 7. So my task is to discuss the financial database. Here. Financial database play a crucial role in ratio analysis and interpretation by providing comprehensive, accurate, and up-to-date financial data that analysts and investors rely on to assess a company's performance. So, here's how they are utilized. So first is to access to comprehensive financial data. So access to comprehensive financial data is databases aggregate data from various companies, offering a centralized source for financial statements, ratios, and other key metrics. So for example of this is use financial database that provides siya comprehensive financial data from thousands of public and private companies worldwide. So nag-include siya income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements, and financial ratios and market data. So second is benchmarking and industry comparison. So by using financial databases, analysts can compare companies' ratios against industry averages or competitors. So this benchmarking helps identify areas where a company excels or lags behind, providing insights into its competitive position. So example kay kuan siya kanina ang for example nag-allow siya users nga i-compare sa company using financial ratios such as return on equity or debt to equity against industry averages and specific competitors within the same sector. So third is trend analysis over time. Then trend analysis over time is a financial database often include historical data, enabling analysts to perform trend analysis. So by examining how financial ratios change over multiple periods, one can assess a company's growth trajectory, operational efficiency, and financial stability. So example is provide siya historical financial data spanning several years that allowing analysts to track metrics and like revenue growth, then profit margins, and return on assets over time. So the fourth is advanced analytical techniques is some financial database we support advanced analytical methods such as principal component analysis PCA and factor analysis. So these techniques help in identifying underlying factors that influence credit ratings and financial performance. So allowing for more nuanced interpretations of financial data. So example for this is it's offered to access offer to access advanced financial database like Compustat and CRSP. So which support statistical tools for conducting principal component analysis CPA and factor analysis using integrated platform like SAS, SES, and or etc.